Welcome to Las Vegas, a gambler's paradise where you have to go big to win big. After nearly 6 months of bar-to-bar action, the superstars of Supercross are ready to put all their chips on the table and battle for bragging rights. With Ricky Carmichael already in possession of the #1 plate, the top riders of the series can let it all hang out, because tonight they ride for pride. Who will rise above the rest? The 250 Supercross finale is next. Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada's Sam Boyd Stadium. Capacity crowd has turned out for the proverbial finish line of Supercross. It's the 2005 THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Hello once again, everyone. Glad you've made it all the way to the end. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele. What a great night we have. The second hour of Supercross racing here on ESPN2. Ricky Carmichael clinches the title in Houston. He has been phenomenal. He has been consistent.
He is a bad man. 40 Supercross wins in his career, 12 overall titles, 4 Supercross titles on 250s. He is just unbelievable. He can do no wrong on a dirt bike. What about tonight? That is a question mark everybody has. Second fastest in practice to Bubba. Chad's in the mix. It is going to be fun.
The track is fantastic. As we take a look at our point standings, first on the THQ World Supercross GP side, Ricky Carmichael wrapping up that title. And he decides, just for good measure, maybe I'll pick up another title. So he goes out and gets the THQ AMA Supercross Series Championship, as we said, wrapping that up in Houston, Texas. Well, Ricky Carmichael is the first to tell you that he is not a man alone. It is Team Carmichael, Team RC. That's how he gets the title done.
My mom's had a great influence on me my whole career. Little more than my dad. My dad's definitely had his part, but he kind of takes a step back. My mom's tough at times, but she's you know, laid back at times. You know, I owe a lot of it to her. You know, whatever happens, you know, from here on out is, you know, she's been a great part of it, and she's an amazing woman.
From the get-go, we Ricky and I both try to set a good example and expect the same in return. And you know, I think that no matter what job you do, if you put 100% into it, it's going to show.
She's always taught me to do it right or don't do it at all, and it's awesome. And I like to know that she has a small place in my career today. You know, I let her do her things so she feels like she has a place. I think that's important.
Mom, she is really all business, but she is really realistic. She doesn't sugarcoat things around him. She doesn't, she is not protective of him. She is straight up, and you know, everything is reality.
He was one of those little kids left standing there, you know, when he was 6 wanting somebody's autograph, and the guy just turned around. And so anytime, you know, that I hear a little bit of a wave on him, I remind him of that. You were there before, and it's not good. And you need to take care of those little kids, because you know how you wanted to tell him so bad something, and he just blew you off. And don't ever forget that. Do better than that. You know, those kids come a long way to see you. Put your best foot forward out there. It's your job. You know, you do good. You're a champion, and you need to take the extra time and do that. That's all part of it.
So my whole team around me has been great, and I don't regret anything at all. The change to Suzuki has been awesome. It's where I want to be, and I'm not going to go any other place, and I'm really happy.
So that's the story with Ricky Carmichael and Team RC. For more on tonight's competitors, let's check in with Jamie Little, who's trackside.
Well, guys, it's been a very successful 2005 Supercross season, one of the best we have seen. Now, aside from Ricky Carmichael, there were 2 top contenders. K-Dub, Kevin Windham. He took home 1 win, 1 whole shot, and had 8 podium finishes. Now, the other rider, the defending 2004 champion, Chad Reed, had 4 wins, 2 whole shots, and, of course, he had 13 podium finishes. You know, the title's wrapped up, but we're in Las Vegas. There's one race to go. We talked to the riders earlier.
It's a track that's always hard and kind of a unique track for tomorrow night, and a little supermoto experience might help me out with the back section there with all the flat corners. And you know, it's a unique track, so I don't think any of us really know what to expect, but we're all definitely going to be going for it, and everything's decided. So, you know, all we have to do is make sure we come out of here with our health, and everybody's ready for the outdoors.
Everybody wants to win, but everybody's, I think, shifted their mood and their focus to another championship. And, you know, I really do feel like I got kind of beat at my own game. I love Supercross, and I've kind of given up on it and ready to move on. So, you know, I want to do nothing stupid tomorrow night to jeopardize that, but for sure a win will be nice.
And you can't forget about the rookie, James Bubba Stewart. After having a big get-off in Phoenix and breaking his arm, he missed 9 races, but he came back with a vengeance. He took home 3 wins in 5 starts, including Houston, where he had a huge get-off in qualifying.
It did affect my training a little bit. I was pretty sore Sunday. I was definitely sore Monday, so I didn't end up riding until Wednesday and Thursday, and that was it. You know, yesterday I had a practice out here. I didn't want to ride it. You know, I'm still sore now, so it affected me a little bit, but there's no excuses this weekend.
These guys have gone all in. All season long, the very best 250 riders in the world have laid it all on the line. Las Vegas plays host to a star-studded field as the 250 Supercross finale gets underway next on ESPN2. Sam Boyd Stadium, a great night of 250 racing as we take a look at our MX versus ATV Unleashed track facts. Cameron, this is an interesting track to say the least.
Well, definitely. The big flat track section, very interesting. Lap times, 1:09. Come on, a Supercross. That is some serious time. It's going to take some endurance. As you can see, Ricky Carmichael talking about the endurance it's going to take, and it's the shortest start straight.
Well, Ricky Carmichael leading the fact that he is very fit, to say the least, as we check in trackside with Jamie Little.
Well, Todd, this is where they start, outside the stadium. Half the riders go left, half of them go right. Then they pin it down Thunder Alley and converge right here where I'm standing, just in time to pick up that Butterfinger Chris Pole Shot Award. That's $1,000 to the 125 recipient, $1,500 to the 250 recipient. This is just one of the many creative options on the Las Vegas track. Todd?
The grid for 250 heat number 1 looks like this. Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, Ernesto Fonseca, and Tyler Evans. Also Travis, Preston, Cameron. Plenty of ability in this one. No Carmichael, no Stewart, no problem. It was still very competitive.
4 riders would transfer onto the main. Split start, 10 to the left, 10 to the right, and they would reunite deep inside the stadium floor.
Kevin Windham would not get the whole shot. That honor would go to Kyle Lewis, but it was short-lived as Lucky was out in front. But Kevin Windham on board the 14 Honda, the Amstel Chaparral, makes the pass and makes it stick.
And Kyle Lewis, with his problems while in qualifying position, out through the tough blocks, and that would move him into the semifinal.
Great battle in 3rd place. That's Ernesto Fonseca getting by number 47, Tyler Evans.
Evans was in qualifying position, but it wasn't to be. Chad Reed making the move into the lead. He was the fastest rider in this qualifying heat.
Kevin Windham stalls out the bike. He would get it kicked over again. Then Travis Preston and Tyler Evans. This was a great battle all night long.
Going back and forth. This is the battle for the top 10 in points.
And then finally, Chad Reed on the last lap, pulling away from everyone. Your winner, 250, heat number 1, Chad Reed. 250 heat number 1 results look like this. Chad Reed with the win. Kevin Windham, Fonseca, and Preston all joining him in the main event. Let's check in with Jamie.
Well, guys, there's been so much hype about the 250 main. The gloves are off. Chad, what's going to happen in this 250 main tonight?
I think it has a lot to do with the start. The track is a little bit like Todd said in press conference, a little bit between basketball and netball. Basketball, you got the backboard. Here we have no berm, so kind of playing netball out here.
All right, thank you very much for that one, Chad. Coming up, 250 heat number 2 when we return to Las Vegas. Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium. If you like the highlights from 250 heat number 1, you're going to love the 250 heat 2 highlights. In this one, it was Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart going head-to-head, Cameron, but unfortunately, one of them would not finish the race.
Everybody's been talking about it. Titles are settled. All gloves are off. Let's do it. James Stewart and Ricky Carmichael both line up on the right side of the split start. Ricky Carmichael with a great jump. The bad news is, watch James Stewart drift wide here and get out into the marbles. He would get onto the concrete and go down.
So as Stewart slides off the track, Ricky Carmichael grabbed the whole shot and went away from everyone quickly, leaving everyone in the stadium to wonder what happened to James. He would emerge from the tough blocks moments later.
Taking a look at his thumb, looking definitely uncomfortable. It was a bad break for him. Hopefully he'd make it back to the semis.
And when that was happening, Jamie Little filed this report.
Well, guys, James Stewart was grimacing once again with pain. I'm not sure if it's his hand is somewhat. He went in with the doctors to get checked out. Meanwhile, his bike, what happened is he hit the fence. He missed the corner. It knocked the shift lever off of his bike. So hopefully the bike and James Stewart will be back for the semifinal. Guys?
The racing continued, and Ricky Carmichael would continue to lead. Damon Vuillemin in second, Heath Voss in third, but you've got to be impressed with the flat track abilities of RC.
Definitely. Ricky was hanging out, but what about, speaking of impressed, Heath Voss giving it to David Vuillemin right here. They had quite a battle.
But in the end, it was too much RC as the team Makita Suzuki walked away with the victory. As we take a look at our official results, 250 heat number 2, it's Carmichael, Voss, Clark, and Vuillemin, and we check in with Jamie Little.
Well, guys, it's certainly a different weekend now for Ricky Carmichael. He's got the title wrapped up. So, RC, I have to ask you, what is your motivation tonight?
Man, I want to win, man. It's just, I have no excuses tonight, and there's nothing to be riding cautious about, you know, other than for my safety, but no championship. I want to win, and I feel good. I got a great start. I'm ready for the main event.
So Ricky Carmichael advances on to the main event. It's now time to take a look at our results. First in the GameStop 250 Semi 1, it's Keith Johnson and Isaiah Johnson going 1 and 2. Then in the Thor 250 Semi 2 results, it's Tim Ferry and Damon Huffman, Justin Bucklew also in third. And then in the Samsung Wireless LCQ results, Eric Vallejo and Kyle Lewis moving on.
I'm all in. I'm all in.
Supercross's top stars are ready to lay their cards on the table and go all in at the 2005 U.S. Open of Supercross. See the sport's best perform in a setting only Vegas can provide. The 2005 U.S. Open of Supercross, October 7th through the 9th at the MGM Grand. Tickets are on sale now. U.S. Open, always a great race. Well, we've got a trivia question for you. Who is the only French-born rider, that's the key, to win in Las Vegas? We'll have the answer for you a little later on in our show, but when we come back, much more racing from Sam Boyd Stadium here in Las Vegas. Boyd Stadium, it's the THQ AMA Supercross Series in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, one of the most beautiful cities at night. Well, we've got a great crowd on hand. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little. As we told you weeks ago, get your tickets now because pretty much every seat is taken. Near capacity, well, capacity crowd in the stadium, but they've got people kind of squeezed into the corners. But it is the earliest sellout in Vegas. And again, we are sold out, 40,000 plus. And as always, go to supercross.cc.com for all the information. Inside Dirt is a wealth of knowledge, and they will give you results from the Outdoor Nationals all summer long. Well, as we saw earlier, James Stewart injured tonight, and as you watch the top right part of your screen, you can get a very slight glimpse of what happened. James going out of the track, and the word is that he has a sprained right thumb. Now, this is something that no one wanted to see. James going out there, clipping the block, came across, walked off on his own power, but hurt his thumb. How bad it is, we don't know. For that, let's check in with Jamie Little.
Well, guys, it's definitely not a good sign here at Factory Kawasaki. They have packed up. They're calling it a night. Now, James Stewart is inside his bus. We were told he sprained his right thumb. He is finished for tonight. Such a bummer. He was on such a roll, 2 wins in a row. We hate to see him end the Supercross season like this. We wish him well. Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. Very disappointed. No James Stewart once again for the main event in Las Vegas, Nevada. But the racing goes on. That means we'll need some strategy. Here's Cameron Steele with this edition of the Suzuki Strategy.
Well, how about a couple tips on how to win a championship? Why don't you start by hiring a proven winner? Ricky Carmichael has 3 250 Supercross championships coming into the season, 11 overall AMA titles. You want to win races early and often, and once you get on top, be consistent and never waver. Ricky Carmichael is on the podium every week of Supercross. That's how he won 2 titles, and that is your Suzuki strategy.
Well, earlier in the night, we asked you this trivia question. Who is the only French-born rider to win in Las Vegas? And the answer, of course, Jean-Michel Bayle, April 25th, 1992. Ricky Carmichael has cleaned the season table in 2005. But for Chad Reed and the rest of the best, there is one final big pot in the middle of the table. A final brawl for it all with the best Supercross riders in the world. The 250 main event is next on ESPN2. Back to Sam Boyd Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the 2005 THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. It all comes down to this, the final race of the 2005 Supercross season, as we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid for the main event. Chad Reed, last year's Supercross champion, on top with Ricky Carmichael, this year's Supercross champion. Kevin Windham, Heath, Voss, all kinds of talent out there. Unfortunately, no James Stewart. Cameron, once again, injury in Las Vegas will keep him out of the main event.
Well, Ricky Carmichael, 15 of 15 podiums this year, 7 wins, 4 Butterfinger Chris Poleshot awards, 2 titles. He's a bad man, but I'll tell you what, Chad Reed had the fastest times in the qualifiers, 1:07.0.
Ricky Carmichael will be running the helmet cam in the main event. There's the quad split. Chad Reed on the upper right, Ricky Carmichael up the left, and on the lower left, K-Dub, Kevin Windham. Remember, Kevin Windham won this race last year. As we take a look at Cameron's keys, the 32nd board
Your flat track skills are important. Tire choice is really tough here. You got to be consistent on all the obstacles, especially the whoops.
250 main event from Las Vegas is off.
And riders getting squirrely.
Carmichael's on the mix as they come down Thunder Alley. Into the stadium they come. Looks like Ernesto Fonseca, but he doesn't get the whole shot. It's number 20. Damon Huffman picking up the Butterfinger Chris Poleshot, and Kevin Windham is in second place.
The Team ECC Honda. Damon Huffman just missing out on the Privateer of the Year award, which went to Tyler Evans. Right now, he's got a mirror. Whoa! He's got a mirror full of Kevin Windham, who's going to go right to the front.
So Damon Huffman's time at the front of the pack is short-lived as number 14, Kevin Windham, on board the Amstel Chaparral Honda, takes the lead. As we said last year, Kevin Windham came into this race very motivated, winning in Salt Lake City and then winning in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to give him the title this year. He sits in third place, but he will take them through the green flag lap. It's the final race of the season, 250 main from Vegas.
And that was a great pass. You saw Heath Voss put on Damon Huffman, so Voss into second. Couple riders back. Ryan Clark also running up there in the top 4. A big start for Ryan.
Well, it's Windham, Voss, Huffman, Clark, Chad Reed in 5th, and then Carmichael sits in 7th place. There you see Chad Reed coming through, Cameron. We put all the dice on the table and let them roll, and we'll see who comes up Yahtzee. And right now, it is Kevin Windham, and it looks like he's starting to check out.
And Chad Reed's got the line going inside of Ryan Clark. Ryan not able to get onto that triple. And Chad also having problems in that section.
Chad Reed currently sitting in 4th place. The Australian rider on board the Yamaha, doing it for Yamaha and Scott. He is on the move, but it is Kevin Windham, your leader. There's Chad Reed. His motivation, Cameron, he's thinking about the outdoor nationals and running with Ricky and Bubba and Kevin again. But you know, Chad, when he's on the line and he pulls the Scott goggles down, he is going to be out there going for it.
And Reedy also dropping a bit in the whoops, although not dropping as much as Damon Huffman. But right now, now, Kevin Windham has a blistering lead. Chad Reed needs to get past Damon Huffman, which he did. Now he's got to really get on with Heath Voss, but Heath Voss aboard that No Fear sponsored Yamaha is really moving right now, and Carmichael is back in the pack, running 6th right now.
Ricky Carmichael coming up on the same guys that Chad Reed just passed. Ricky looking down right there. I don't know if he's having a problem, but here we go on board with the champ. Ricky Carmichael bringing them back into Sam Boyd Stadium. There you see the lap times. Just to keep it in perspective, Kevin Windham turned a 1:07 on his last lap.
And you see Damon Huffman stretching it out there next to Ricky, and Ricky had to pull up there. Damon Huffman making a move back pass.
On board with the champ, Ricky Carmichael, number 4, doing it up for Suzuki, Fox, and Oakley as he brings it around. Gets past Damon Huffman as we go back to the battle. Now, this is the battle for second. It is number 13, Heath Voss, out in front. Number 22, Chad Reed. Will the whoops be the tell-all tale? Look at Chad Reed. Look at the speed.
Impressed by Heath Voss. He is definitely moving through those whoops as well. In the past, you would have seen probably Chad Reed really smoke on by there, but Heath has really been making moves in his ride area. He has really been carrying a lot of speed. But Chad Reed, look at this. Let's see what he does. Goes out, goes to the inside, and he's going to get his teammate.
Chad Reed using the flat track. Remember, he was at the X Games last summer doing a little supermoto, and it's coming back to pay off for him. So he gets past the former THQ World Supercross GP champion, Heath Voss. It is Kevin Windham out in front, and he's got about a 120-yard lead over Chad Reed. Ricky Carmichael, though, is starting to move up and do it gradually.
Kevin Windham more than a straightaway ahead right now. Ricky Carmichael back in the pack, unusual place for Ricky to be. He's been jogging out. Look at this. Ryan Clark still staying right there in the mix behind Ricky.
On board with Carmichael. You know, we were wondering, Cameron, if he would really throw down in this race, or would he play it, I don't say conservative or smart or whatever you want to call it, and save himself for the Outdoor Nationals. He does have a little streak going there. I know he'd like to keep that going, but Ricky's a competitor, and he's going to come out here. He is now closing in on Heath Voss, and he's got it down to about 80 yards behind Chad Reed, who sits in 2nd place. So Carmichael sits in 4th with Kevin Windham way out in front. Chad Reed sits in 2nd, and I think the folks at home and the folks here at Sam Boyd Stadium would love to see Reed and Carmichael go at it for 4 or 5 laps.
For sure, and Ricky Carmichael's last lap was as fast as a 1:08.6, which is faster than Chad Reed's last lap, which was also as fast as a 1:08.8. But get this, the best time so far, Kevin Windham, a 1:07.6. Last lap, almost got down to the 1:07.
Well, we talk about fitness, and we saw that quote at the start of the show. Ricky Carmichael saying with a long track like this, it'll come down to fitness. Ricky Carmichael may be one of the most fit riders on the planet, but Chad Reed, who trains with Jeff Spencer, who works with Lance Armstrong, not quite a slouch himself.
Yeah, I don't think he is. No, got his game together. Ricky Carmichael's getting his game on right now, trying to get up in behind Heath Voss here, who has dropped back just a bit, but you can still see out there making the turn at the end of the whoops. That's Chad Reed. So we could see a battle here for 2nd and 3rd. We'll see how the stamina, the training pays off. We'll see what kind of shape Kevin Windham is in before we get to the end of these 20 laps.
How ironic would it be that Kevin Windham would bookend the season? He picked up the victory in Anaheim, California, in an absolute deluge tonight. It's as dry as a bone, and Kevin Windham, once again, is out in front.
And right here, Ricky Carmichael starting to look at lines of Heath Voss. You see him using different lines, and he's going to have the inside here.
It is.
Watch him triple up next to Heath. He's going to have the inside line in the corner.
Carmichael makes a textbook pass on Heath Voss. Now he's going to have to go to work on Chad Reed, and that is going to be a tall order. Chad Reed is a good 85 yards ahead of Ricky Carmichael. Oh, and by the way, Kevin Windham's out in front. He is checked out, and Chad Reed's going to see him. There they go, passing each other, going opposite directions, and we'll get a time on how far ahead Kevin Windham is. It's going to be close to about 12 seconds, Cameron.
The last lap, he got back down into the 1:07s, which is where Chad Reed is as well right now. But Kevin holding his lap times, keeping him down, which is so important.
And Chad Reed just turns a 1:07.5, so he goes even quicker. And Carmichael's on the move, turning a very low 1:08. Well, as we check the Butterfinger Chris hole shot replay, I thought Kevin Windham was in position for this one, Cameron.
It ended up Damon Huffman was just miles ahead right here as he gets to the line. You can see it there clearly. No one in the class for the whole shot award. It was all Damon Huffman. Great job by the Diesel.
Back to racing action. This is Kevin Windham. His last lap, 107.8, as Cameron pointed out. He won our first event in Anaheim, trying to wrap up the Supercross season. He's firmly ensconced in third place in the overall, Cameron, so that's something he talked about. But the other day at the press conference, he mentioned he still feels good. He's coming back for next year. He's planning another Supercross season. Chad Reed looks forward. Reed is closing the gap just a little bit on the last lap. Reed had it down to about a 9.1 second deficit to Kevin Windham.
And now down to an 8.8. So right now, Chad Reed is turning faster laps. Consistently, the last 2 laps were faster than Kevin Windham. So as you said, he is catching up.
Fitness is going to be a key. We are not even at the halfway point. It is a long 20-lap affair. You do the quick math. They're going over a minute, Cameron. It's a good 25-minute workout at full speed.
Brutal. And Chad Reed, right there is a section that only James Stewart ended up doing after they tuned the track. A quad out. It is possible. There is time to be picked up there, but none of the riders here in the main event elected to do it. It is gnarly out there.
Chad Reed's exit speed in the corner is so unbelievable. Here comes Ricky Carmichael. There you saw the gap in actual time between Chad Reed, who sits in second, and that man, the reigning champion, Ricky Carmichael.
And as you saw, Ricky Carmichael is off the pace just a little bit. The last lap for Ricky Carmichael, just over 108.
Well, past winners in Las Vegas, Nevada, Kevin Windham, as we said, won it last year. The year before it was Chad Reed, and then in 2002 and 2001, it was RC. You go back to the late 90s and 2000, it was Jeremy McGrath 3 years in a row. So some great names have ruled supreme in Las Vegas.
Absolutely, and Heath Voss still having a good race. Check this out. The battle for position, that's the 38 bike, Ryan Clark. We've been talking about him. And that's Travis Preston trying to get around on the outside. And Preston riding the factory Honda, trying to make a move on the privateer rider, riding for his own Team Solitaire, Fly and Dragon-sponsored motorcycle. So, doing a good job of holding off Trav.
As they come down Thunder Alley back into Sam Boyd Stadium, there you get your small taste of supermoto action. It is Travis Preston, number 70, the number 38 of Ryan Clark. And does Preston have the drive right here? Squares it off, unable to get out of there quick enough.
You remember Travis Preston racing for the top 10 in the points. Right now, Tyler Evans is ahead of him by 10 points. And looking at it out now, Preston sitting in 6th. Evans is back in 12th position. That's not enough of a point game for him. It's 10 points is the spread right now.
And as you mentioned earlier in the day, Cameron, it's contract time. A lot of people getting ready to renegotiate. It's always nice to say, here's where I finished, here's what I was able to do, here's what I can do for you.
Oh, Travis Preston, oh, look at this, making a run in the whoops. Clark is dropping, and Preston gets by cleanly. Ryan Clark's knocked down right here. This is the spot, and you see Clark kind of pulled up right there. That's where James Stewart in practice dove inside of Clark. They got together, and Clark ended up going down.
Speaking of number 259, James Stewart, if you're just joining us, injured his right thumb earlier in the day during a heat race, unable to continue, so he is done for the night. And Ryan Clark just being surrounded by a sea of factory riders.
This is great battle right here. I mean, the action at Supercross is Fonseca coming up the inside. The rider from Costa Rica, he's making the move on Ryan Clark. So Fonseca moving up another position. He's going to take that 6th spot, so he's putting his sights on his teammate. Travis Preston, you're talking about, it's contract time. Preston has a ride for next year with Honda. Ernesto Fonseca, as yet, has not signed a contract for next year.
Ernesto Fonseca working with his agent, Tony Gardia, trying to put some kind of package together. And look at this. This kind of riding is what gets you the factory ride. Ernesto Fonseca putting his nose in there, and Travis Preston gets past not once, but twice, as David Vuillemin also turns the trick.
Yeah, we saw Vuillemin earlier in the night was moving backwards, now moving forward, so good things for David Vuillemin.
So Vuillemin and Fonseca both moving up. It's Windham, your leader, Reed in second, Carmichael in third, then Heath, Voss, Ernesto Fonseca now. And this is the battle for 5th, and look at that. David David Vuillemin, the Frenchman, the Cobra, comes through and makes the pass on Ernesto Fonseca out of Costa Rica. Well, here's the look at Kevin Windham in the upper left-hand portion of your screen. And Cameron, this is interesting as we are just passing the halfway point. The lead over Chad Reed is now down to just 6 seconds.
Whew. We might get a little bit of a showdown here. We still got a few laps to go.
Well, Kevin's last lap time was 1:08.5. Chad's last lap time was a 1:07.9.
Whew. And Chad, so far, the fastest lap time in the main of 1:07.1.
We've still got a good 8 laps of racing from Sandboy Stadium to go, but your leader is number 14, Kevin Windham. Chad Reed sits in second, and Ricky Carmichael is lurking in podium position in third. We'll step aside, take a quick break, but it's Kevin Windham out in front. A whole lot of Supercross racing still to come. Can Windham turn the trick in Vegas for 2 years in a row? Stick around and find out. Your leader, Kevin Windham, out in front. Reed, Carmichael, and Voss, top 4. Back to Sandboy Stadium. Your leader continues to be Kevin Windham out in front, and by a margin of Cameron of just about 5.5 seconds. So a lap ago it was 6. Now it's 5.5.
The timing just coming in on that lap, 4.4 seconds back from the leader. So Windham is being tracked down.
Chad Reed, like a great barrier reef, can smell blood in the water in the form of Kevin Windham. Is Windham's fitness down? Is he starting to tire? Remember, these laps are over a minute long, and Chad Reed, who trains with Jeff Spencer, a Lance Armstrong guy, certainly knows a thing or two about fitness.
And you know Chad can see Kevin out there on the track. He's wearing that super bright no fear gear this time in Las Vegas, so kind of like a beacon out on the track. You know, Chad can look around and find him pretty easily. I wonder, you know, maybe if he should be running some camouflage. And Chad doesn't know how close he is now, but we know the pit boards are coming out letting him know. And Kevin Windham, 12th year pro, he's 25 years old from Mississippi.
That's the great thing about Las Vegas. It's almost like an all-star weekend of fashion. All the designers get together. Chad Reed rocking the blue and white for Yamaha, and Thor, Victor Sheldon putting him together a nice package. And Kevin Windham right now out in front, 27 years of age, and he's making the pass, trying to get out in front. I'd love to see what was on that pit board. Here comes Chad Reed, number 22, sliding in, and he's starting to close the gap.
Thanks for fixing that for me, buddy.
No problem. Meanwhile, Ricky Carmichael has started to fall off just a bit off the pace. Now, he's still comfortably in third, Cameron, but do you think RC at this point saying, let's bring on the Nationals outdoor season?
I don't think so. Ricky's not just throwing in the towel. Come on. He's still, right now, he could run the gamut of the entire season, podium every single time. That would be a huge feat. I know that Ricky would much rather be second or first, but, you know, third on the podium.
Not to insinuate that Ricky Carmichael has ever thrown in the towel, whether it was basketball, football, or hopscotch. The guy is one of the most competitive people you will ever meet. And that's part of the reason why he is the champion. There's your leader, Kevin Windham, number 14 on the Amstel Chaparral Honda. Feeling very good. Unfortunately, he's got Chad Reed closing in, and here's the situation. Lap riders. Now, for Kevin Windham, a great thing is he's got Tyler Evans between him and Chad Reed. But will Tyler Evans get out of the way of Chad Reed in time?
Look at the flat track in it, Kevin Windham. Rear tire coming around. Trying to carry that throttle as long and hard as possible. He's got some riders directly from Jason Thomas right now.
3 lap riders in front of him. Thomas pulls up to the right, lets him get by relatively easily. But Chad Reed has closed it down and quick. I'm saying this thing is under 4 seconds. In 2004, Chad Reed had 10 Supercross wins. In 2005, he's only picked up 4. So he is looking for a 5th win here to take that bitter taste out of his mouth. Look at this.
Jason Thomas holding him up maybe just a little bit there, but Windham having problems with the lapper of his own, which is Kyle Lewis. There they are.
Well, here's the replay one more time. There's Tyler Evans, and there's Kevin Windham, and Windham goes down. Kevin Windham has gone down in the whoop section. Just totally, Cameron, I don't know what happened there.
strange.
And he can't get the fight started. He finally does. But the damage has been done. Kevin Windham trying to get back in the flow of the track. And Chad Reed has moved to the front.
You're saying he wanted that 5th win?
Well, he might have just been handed it. And that is why we do double box replays, folks, so you do not miss it. Here it is one more time. Kevin Windham, number 14, through the whoops.
Starts getting squirrely, and those whoops are very cupped out. Oh,
thank Kevin for the tough blocks. So Kevin Windham has remounted the 4-stroke Honda. He is back up and running, but once again, he has dropped way back. He is in 3rd place, and Chad Reed, the persistence pays off. Cameron, I think he's been sandbagging us all week long at the press conference. His mind, he said he was focusing on the outdoor nationals. He's kind of shifted into that mode. You know Chad, though. He gets on the line. He's racing for the victory.
Well, Chad having problems in the whoops right there as well. Ricky Carmichael, 10 seconds back from Chad, so pretty comfortable margin with just a few laps to go.
With 3 laps to go, your leader, number 22, Chad Reed, now living in Dade City, Florida on the Yamaha YZ250, sponsored by Yamaha, Thor and Scott, out in front and showing some flat track skills. All right, well, here's the situation. Reed's out in front. Ricky Carmichael now sits in 2nd place. Is there enough time to have a little Carmichael-Reed battle?
Well, I mean, as you saw with Kevin Windham, anything can happen. But I think if everything stays the same, looking at the lap times, the way they've been putting them down, Chad's last lap time, a 1:10. Ricky Carmichael, a 1:09.9. So very similar lap times. It would say they wouldn't be able to catch him, but as we always see in Supercross, anything can and will have. You see Ricky being held up possibly by a lapper just for a second there.
Ricky now coming up on Tyler Evans. There's Kevin Windham back up top. There you see the last lap time. Look at it, he plummeted 6 seconds off the pace, and that is a frustration for Kevin Windham. Here's the battle for 4th place. Number 13 is Heath Voss. Number 12 is David Vuillemin. Yes, they are teammates, Cameron, but as we've seen before with Tim Ferry, all's fair on the track.
All right. Especially last race of the year, I know Dave would like to move up a position. Heath Voss, though, has been riding brilliantly.
Yeah, Heath had a great run the first early laps. Getting a little squirrely in that section. David Vuillemin also having his problems. David Vuillemin, number 12, currently running in 5th place. Here's a guy, Cameron, at the top of the year. If I would have told you he will not get a podium all year long, would you believe that?
Well, I mean, it's possible with James, Ricky, Chad, Kevin, LaRocco, but David Vuillemin has been a consistent competitor at the top, so no, I would not have believed it. But you know what? He has come through with a few 4th place finishes,
yeah,
5 of them, if I can count correctly.
No, you're right. San Diego, San Fran, Anaheim, 3.
If I'm right, why are you putting 4 up in front of me? Check this out. This is the battle right here.
Vuillemin gets the pass done on the inside of Voss. So with 2 laps to go, Chad Reed, and I'm sure his wife Ellie is just saying, let's click these last 2 off, get out of Vegas safe and sound.
David Vuillemin still looking up the track. You can see him once in a while, taking a look around to see where the competition is, see if he can catch up to 3rd place, and he can see right next to him there in the whoops was Kevin Windham, so a distinct possibility that David Vuillemin could pull up and get closer to Kevin. You never know what happened to when Kevin fell.
Get his first moment. Well, moments ago, Chad Reed had a bit of a moment. We've seen this happen before, but he's so smooth, he always seems to recover. Watch this. Same whoop section as Kevin Windham having his problems.
Well, the whoops have definitely been tough. You see him having to shut it down. Wow, he's really lucky. A rider that was a lapped rider was right next to him carrying momentum. That's Ryan Clark. He could have got into it, but Ryan was able to slow it down and keep it all safe for everybody.
So Chad Reed continues to persevere on this grueling track. Last lap time, 1:11, Cameron. That's somewhat to be expected because they've been going for nearly 20 laps as the white flag comes out. Chad Reed out in front by a long way as Ricky Carmichael has yet to hit the white flag. Now he does. So it's Carmichael in 2nd, Chad Reed in 1st, Kevin Windham a distant 3rd.
Look like Darren Sorensen holding out the blackjack signs for Chad Reed. I've been saying when we come to Vegas, we got to play some cards.
Throw the bones, play some cards, and tonight Chad Reed looks like he's going to come up with a serious 21. It is the number 22 who brings it back into Sam Boyd Stadium one more time. And the next time he comes around, Cameron, it's all checkered flag.
Brilliant night of racing for Chad Reed. I mean, he was catching Kevin Windham. Of course, you never know what could have or would have happened. And Kevin, unfortunately, go down, so we didn't get to see the possible epic battle for the front.
Really not a surprise, though, the way Chad has been riding.
See if we get a big whip or maybe knack-knack here. There's the knack. Ricky Carmichael is on the same straightaway now with Chad Reed,
but he's going to nurse this one home to the woods. One more left-hand turn. Your winner in Las Vegas, number 22, the Thunder from down under, Chad Reed. So Reed picks up his 14th podium, 5th win. It's a little bittersweet, but Chad Reed goes out in style from Curry by way of New South Wales, Australia. Now living in the States. Congratulations to Chad Reed picking up the victory in Las Vegas. So Reed taking the victory lap as the pyrotechnics go off in the Las Vegas sky. And you got to think the folks in Las Vegas on the strip are going, what did we miss? Well, you missed one of the best races in a long time. We'll talk to all the participants when we come back.
You know, everyone was going to put their effort in, and, you know, we came out with a win, so that's great. And I just want to thank all the guys at Yamaha. They provided me with everything they possibly could. You know, they raced to every occasion, and I like to thank them for that. The guys at Bridgestone, Putzman and Thor, Scott, Amps Mobile, and Etnies. It's great to be part of those guys' you know, lives and have them at the races.
Chad Reed, true professional. Good to see him go out with a win. Guys?
So the 2005 season comes to a conclusion when it looked like Kevin Windham was going to get the victory. It was Chad Reed who picked it up.
Celebrating with the knack-knack, taking home his 5th win, Chad Reed, the man in Las Vegas.
As always, get lots of information at supercross.cc.com. Inside Dirt for all your outdoor nationals information. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Cameron and Jamie, I'm Todd Harris. We'll see you in 06.